Alright, so I am going to show you how we install the antenna for the transponder. This cutout is where the antenna is going to go. We're going to be installing a CI 105-16 antenna, blade antenna. The -16 just means it has longer studs, which makes it easier to go through the thicker composite material. What I'm going to do is drill a hole in the middle here. Then I'm going to go on the outside with my template. I'll put the center hole on the hole that I drill. I'll mark the rest of it from the outside, and I'll drill from the outside in, because I find that to be a lot easier than trying to drill from the inside out rather. This cutout is only on the later model G3 Cirruses. The earlier model SR20s, 22s, they don't have this cutout necessarily. The later model Cirruses do. So this is where it goes. It ends up being about 12 to 15 inches or so from the firewall, or from the 222 bulkhead. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do here. Throw this in here for now. There's the hole. Okay, the hole has been cleaned up. I deburred the edges a little bit, vacuumed up all my shavings. The next step, we're going to put some click bond adhesive around the edge of the hole that we just drilled to make sure that it seals up the fiberglass so you don't get any moisture penetrating into the fiberglass and causing debonding. The other thing you want to do is make sure your antenna actually fits. So we can do that here. Definitely want to make sure you do this before you put the glue in. And it fits nicely, so go ahead and put the glue in there. What you do is you can see the inside there, the glue, and then on the outside, this is right aft of your number 2 comm antenna, and that's where your transponder antenna is going to be. There. Alright, after this dries, I'll show you the next step. Alright, it's been a couple hours. Glue is dry now, so I can go ahead and start the next step. The next thing to do is to put some aluminum foil tape onto the skin here. We're going to build up a ground plane around the antenna. I usually go and I attach it to this metal frame over here and this metal frame here, just to give it a nice good area to adhere. And what I want to do is cut this zip tie. And I'll go underneath all those wires. And the other thing to do is a good idea is to clean out any dirt and grit that might be under the belly there. I already vacuumed it once, but I just put a little bit of alcohol, denatured alcohol, on the towel here. Clean out the dirt and junk out of there. Dust. Okay, that's good. Smooth it down, work it across. And you can just build it up, putting strips across until you got built up enough of a ground plane, and then you can put the antenna on. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll show you when it's done. I built up the ground plane using just strips of foil tape. Just stuck it all down real good, made sure it's touching those two brackets like I said before. I tape over the zip tie holder here, but if you can put a little score in it, and then you can put the zip tie right back through there. Not a big deal, but I'm not going to zip this down yet until I've got the new coax run for the new antenna, because I can use this holder for that, and I'm just going to follow the existing bundle for that. But for now I can go ahead and put the antenna in. So the holes, there's a big hole right here. Just pop a hole through the aluminum foil. A little hole there, and a little hole there. So there's my antenna. And the way we're going to do this, put these large area washers on here, AN 970-3 I think. One on each stud, and then a nut, and then you tighten it down. Alright, one last step we got to do on this antenna is seal it. So what I'm going to do is just clean up the belly here with a little bit of alcohol. Get all the gunk off the belly, grease, oil, whatever. Clean all that off. Clean off the antenna surface as well. Let that dry for a sec. What I like to do is use electrical tape, because it's cheap. You can bend it around curves and stuff to get it just the way you want it. what I'm doing here is I'm going to mask off the area that I don't want the sealant to go. Go. And I made one little mistake right there. Pop that out. Problem is, if you touch it now, it's going to mess it up. So just let it sit. It'll dry. It'll harden. It'll probably get covered in oil from the engine, but it won't leak water. Nice. Alright, so this is to show you a little more closely how the wire harness routes on here. So you get the harness. I put some snakeskin on it. Comes down here, and there's that large pass-through I was telling you about. So it's kind of an oval shape. There's one like that on the other side. I'll bring you over around the top so you can see what it looks like. So there you can see that's where it comes out the other side, and then it goes under the center, and I don't know if you can see it any better, but essentially it goes up in there and you just kind of route it up, and then it comes out right there. And you can see on the other side here, if I show you, there's this main wire harness here that you can follow. Nice easy bundle that goes up until eventually we're going to come out at the top in this general area right here, and that's where it's going to be. Hello again. I have here the transponder harness for the AXP322 transponder that I'm going to mount. I'm going to mount it on this plate here on the floor. I've already routed the coax cable for the antenna, so this is where this is going to come out. You want to make sure you get a service loop here so that it can plug in and it's not too hard. But today what I'm going to do is show you how to route this wire up in underneath here. So it goes through the spar section here, so there's two large holes in the spar on this model. This is a G3 turbo. The earlier models, the hole's a little smaller, so it's a little tougher, but this one I can basically route it through without too much issue. And it's a pretty small wire harness anyway. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. You can use a piece of safety wire as a feed wire, and then you can just tape your harness to that and pull it back through. Or in this case, I'm just going to fish it through there. So, down under here. Getting it through the first hole is easy. Getting it through the second hole is a little harder. Not too bad. Just like that. So, and I'm just going to loosely leave these in here, and then I'm going to route this one up through the center. So now what I'm going to do is it comes up here, takes a right turn, goes towards the center, and then it comes up in the middle. The bundle is kind of on the right hand side, comes up the middle there. And as much as possible you want to try to follow existing wire harnessing, so you try not to cross over and under cables and stuff, try to keep it all the same. And the rest of it is pretty straightforward. You just follow the harness, go through the clamps, and it's going to wind up coming out the top here, roughly like so. Obviously I'm going to, I have the power and the ground taped into the harness here just for easier routing, but I'm going to untape them because they're going to stay in the circuit breaker area, so I can route the rest of this harness up. And that's it.